Welcome to Hyperbolas practice problem number 3. In this video, we are asked to write the equation of the hyperbola in standard form, and we're given certain clues. We're given that the center is at the point 3,1, the y-axis is the transverse axis, a equals 2, and c equals the square root of 13. So you have to be a little bit of a detective to sort of figure this out. But the first clue is going to be that this is going to be a vertical hyperbola. And why do I know that? If the y-axis is the transverse axis, what that means is the parabolas that make up the hyperbola are going to cross through the y-axis. Okay, so this is going to be a vertical hyperbola. And why is that important? Well, I need to know the general standard form equation that I'm going to use. So if I have a vertical hyperbola, remember, it's y minus k quantity squared over a squared minus h minus x quantity squared over b squared equals 1. Okay, so the first thing I can do is I can fill out the center. The center is always going to be hk. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 in for h and 1 in for k. So what does that look like? That's going to look like the quantity y minus 1 squared. Now I know a squared because I know a is 2. So this is going to be a 4. And then minus the quantity x minus 3 quantity squared over b squared. Now I don't know b squared yet, so I'm going to leave that blank, but this is going to equal 1. So how can I get b squared? Well, if I know c and I know a, and I remember the formula that c squared equals a squared plus b squared, I can probably solve, right? This would mean that c equals plus or minus the square root of a squared plus b squared. Okay, so I can use either one of these equations. They're both, equivalent. So let's look at this one first, right? If I plug c in, right, c is the square root of 13. What I can do is square that. A squared is equal to 4 plus b squared. That's my unknown. Now, remember that the squared term undoes the square root. So this equation is 13 equals 4 plus b squared, which means if I subtract 4, that 9 is equal to b squared. And so what I can do is put a 9 here, and then I have found the equation in standard form. And that is my final answer.